Rahmanir Rahim, and all the prayers on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and also on his followers till the day of judgment. First, in name of the World Muslim Communities Council and the chairman, Dr. Ali bin Rashid Al-Nuaimi, we would like to welcome all our brothers and sisters, our followers who follow or watch the World Muslim Communities Council through social media. Today, we are blessed to have an important lecture who managed with his science, with his great work, to put a path for renewal in Islamic fiqh, also in Islamic speech, and how to do da'wah. Our lecture for today, His Honorable Dr. Ali Gomaa, and he is an Al-Azhar scientific who hold many positions, especially in his work and in his science. He was Mufti in Egypt for 10 years, and also he is a member of the senior scientists, and he is also has got different scientific academic certificates which enable him to be at the front line of the religion scientists. He has PhD in al-fiqh with other interests, and he has a great knowledge about Arabic language and Arabic literature, and he gathered the different scientific and different fields, the Sophia also. He learned on the hand of different modern teachers who left scientific fingerprints, especially for our religion, either in Egypt or even in the Arabic world. So he learned on the head of Jad al-Haq and other Egyptian scientists, and he followed Abdullah ibn Siddiq al-Ghubari, the Moroccan, and he learned al-Hadith science, and also he learned Sidi Abdul Aziz ibn Siddiq al-Ghumari till he established a Siddiqiyya way in Egypt. Our scientist today, he was honored from His Majesty President Al-Sisi, and also he is heading the religious committee in the parliament, and he was awarded from different medals in the Arab world, like Abdullah II medal and other medals he got from the Arabic world. Today, he will speak to us about religious education. Now, religious education, what are the tools? What is the different subjects? And also how we can do, especially here at Turath, a heritage, and to go along to renewal. The World Muslim Communities Council is honored with this lecture, especially this honorable scientist in the field of scientific religious education. As till now, some entities still, they don't allow women to be educated or even to give education as a secondary and not a main, especially when it's taught in a different methods, traditional methods, which doesn't correspond with the different challenges, especially what we face in the Arabic world or even the Muslim communities. Please welcome with me here in the World Muslim Community Council, and hopefully you will have a very fruitful lecture. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and all the prayers on Prophet Muhammad and his followers. At the beginning, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. In this blessed gathering, first, we would like to thank Dr. Ali Rashid al-Naimi, the chairman of the World Muslim Community Council, and also the council who gave me this time to meet you, even remotely. Our meeting today will be under the title Religious Education between Heritage and Renewal, and it is a very important topic. We need to go deep in the history. We have to stop in the different points and the different how it was developed and how it was renewed, and how we can maneuver in this very developed world and also very complicated, especially in the field of religious education. Muslims has got ideas, and these ideas was implemented, and this implementation was successful. The most important idea is what's called a sanad, the chain, from where we got this idea for documentation. Who said to you that Prophet Muhammad said that hadith or this reading is the correct one, or this idea that affiliated to a Malik, a Shafi'i scientist? He really said that, or even a history event really happened. So it's very important that Muslim paid attention to a sanad, and this is a gift from Allah, because in this way and in this track, I don't think it happened before in the world throughout history and through different religions, that we have seen the different documentation for the religion. So this chain or isnad is part of the religion. So Allah inspired the Muslims to take Jibreel, the angel, speech, especially as mentioned in Umar ibn Khattab's speech, as we were with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, a very white person came with black hair. We don't know him, and we can't see any trace for traveling. He sat and he put his knees in front of Prophet Muhammad's knees, and he started to ask, what is Islam? What is Iman? And Prophet Muhammad answered. After that, he says, Sadaqt, you are right. So we were surprised how he asked and answered. So how you approve the answers as you are just mentioning the questions? When this person left, Prophet Muhammad said, "Who do you know who is that?" We said no. He said, "This is the angel Jibril to teach you about your religion." The angel Jibril here, he asked about belief, Iman. And here Muslims talk about At-Tawheed, to study the different aspects in Aqidah. and they call it التوحيد or al-Aqidah, or even the foundation of religion, 8 names for it. He asked him about Islam. What is Islam? He answered, and Muslims took it and we make it al-fiqh, science. And we have the foundation of fiqh. So now it's a type or part of the science. Also, he asked also about ihsan. He said that you worship Allah as you are seeing Him. So here the behavior for a tasawwuf, and they called it with this name. The aspects of the heart to have everything correct and get rid of everything wrong. The Muslims imams followed this approach, and they added the future sciences, or what they call it al-fitan sciences, or even especially when they ask when is the day of judgment. And here the classification, there's different library classification, the square classification, al-tawheed, al-fiqh, al-tasawwuf, and al-fitan. All this map that Allah inspired the Muslims to implement. Then, after that, they divided to al-maqasid and al-wasa'il. Al-maqasid, the purpose, what is useful for the people in their life, like, for example, al-aqidah, morals. It's all part of the purpose. There are other ones like grammar, the language, also wisdom, the different type of these. It was divided and classified, and it's called the Sharia sciences. We want to speak about education, and here we talk about 5 things. The first one, the student. The second one, the teacher. The third one, the book. The fourth one, the curriculum. The fifth one, the atmosphere, which include the venue, the time, and that how the assessment and evaluation, also the terminology. So when we talk about renewal, we study these 5 things. We want to speak about what happened. And here we start with the 19th century. The 19th century, when it started, in 1216 or 17, 1800, in 1800, the start of the 19th century, we are at the start of the 13th Hijri century. In this era, different incidents. It was organized for Muslims and also for the Muslim wars from Tanja to Jakarta. If we start from it, now we talk about this time. We start with the experience of Al-Azhar with their other institutions, Al-Qayrawan, Al-Zaytuna, Faz School, also in India. So different schools, big one in Turkey. Al-Azhar, what's special about it? It hasn't followed only one way or madhab. In the West, they take the Malikiya and they make it useful. Al-Hanafiya also in India, Al-Hanafiya, they have strong studies about it. For the expat, they took wisdom and philosophy. But Al-Azhar gathered all of that. And this was very special when we study Al-Azhar as a model for education, for development, talking about heritage and renewal. So it is a good model to be studied, as is gathered all of that. Throughout the 19th century, start with the French campaign in Egypt. Throughout this century, the English occupation came to Egypt, and also during the 19th century, different changes happened, especially about the Islamic Khilafah, which finished at the start of the 20th century after the Khalifa Abdul Hamid. And we have seen Ataturk and what he has done, the independence in Turkey. So different incidents happened in this area and impacted the religious education. Here we talk about heritage or renewal. So if we take Al-Azhar as a model in this field, we study this model, we learn from it, and we make it as a model for us. So the 19th century, how was the Al-Azhar studying during this era? There was the chair teacher, because he has a chair where he sat and face his students. How the teaching happened? Imagine they were reading Ibn Malik poem, Al-Alfiyah. So one of them, he will have the Alfiyah for Ashmuli, and the second one will have Hashiyat As-Sabban. The third one will have the explanation of Ibn Hisham for the same poem. The fourth one, Ibn Aqil explanation for the same poem. All the students, they have copies with different books. The teacher here, or Sheikh, will start with the explaining a verse of the poem. So he will give a verse of it. After that, he will explain. And he will say Al-Khudari people, it's type of it. Someone were writing after Al-Khudari. So it's all from his memory and from his teaching for grammar. Once upon a day, it was studied, teaching in Al-Azhar Sibawi book, and it was taught till Ibn Malik poem or Alfiya. He did his best to make one, but it wasn't common as Ibn Malik ones. Also, Ad-Damanhuri has got one, but it wasn't well popular from the teachers and the students like Ibn Malik one. So, Sibawi book was left, and they moved to Ibn Malik. After the Sheikh explained the verse or two verses from Ibn Malik poem, everyone from the students know what will be explained tomorrow. So he will prepare. After the Sheikh finish, either they take it as enough, or he opened discussion between the teacher and the student. So he will give a word that he finished the explanation, and now he will take the questions from the students and the attendees. He will say ta'jiz. So who can, I am a teacher, and who can give me a tough question? So everyone, especially the students who prepared from different books, he will have a problem in his mind, and he will ask about this issue, or even how the different books tackle the same issue, and the Sheikh will answer these questions. And here the dialogue is part of the lesson. That will not happen in all the lessons. Some sheikhs teach without this tough question. So if he say it, ta'jiz, he will make it as a monologue from one part, like I speak and the people listen to me, and after that dialogue, so from both sides. With each one there is advantages. The lesson finish when the Sheikh is able to answer all the questions, or finish when the students see there is no ambiguous thing after this explanation the Sheikh gave. After that, students move from a council to a council, or from a session to a session, studying fiqh, or even at-tawheed, morals, studying also Quran sciences or Sunnah sciences, reading the different hadith books, also grammar, and also studying the language, the logic, high wisdom, etc. All of these is the main sessions. They will study the language sciences. For example, the fiqh principles, like, for example, what's similar or different for Ibn al-Subki, for As-Suyuti, and other books. It was taught during that time. Also At-Tamheed for Al-Asnawi. So here, this is an open style of teaching. The student can sit in any session. Some of them will do ibadat, worships. Others will go deep in grammar. Other students will be in hadith sciences, and he will go deep in the language sciences. Other ones will study the different tenses of the lugha, of the language. Then they move in an open way. After that, he will see that he is capable to perform, to teach. So he will ask for permission. Like, for example, on that day, he will sit to teach. Some of them will take it as enough as one subject. Like, I got enough from grammar and I can teach grammar. Others in different or several subjects, like hadith or fiqh, for example. Other ones will say that I am good at all the subjects, and now I can give a comprehensive lesson in all the aspects. So here they call in Al-Azhar, and they say this student, he will give a lesson tomorrow in this location, in any location. So all the teacher will gather. They will cancel the lesson on that day in order to listen to that student who has a requested that to give a lesson and to be a teacher. Here, the student become a teacher, and the teachers become students sitting in front of him after he finished the explanation, and see that he gave explanation about the topic he wanted. He say, ta'ajiz, like, give me your questions. The teachers will start to ask him in his field or in the field that he wanted. So they will bring tough questions, strange things. So what is the answer, etc. After that, they give him a certificate, and it will be on 3 stages. The first stage, where he teach in all the fields, or even second stage in some, and it's assigned. You teach that, but not grammar. You teach hadith, but not fiqh. So they assign the field where he teach. And the third one field. You can teach one field. So either he got a license only in this field. The 3 stages, the third, the other ones, your performance is not satisfactory, so still you cannot get the information across to the students. You are not capable to discuss. You haven't got the knowledge to be a teacher in this field. And normally, students commit to what knowledge Allah gave to them. Every 100 years, we will have irregular persons where he is angry from his teacher and say, no, I will teach. And here he will be arrested because he is distorting the Sharia science. He will be arrested, and also there will be a bell, and he will put on an animal, and they will dye his face with ashes on his face, and he will be toured around the country and say, this is the person who wanted to change Allah's religion. So here law intervene in the situation and punishment, which is suitable to this era. It was happening like that. During this time, there was books. We call it Al-Azhar curricula. It was printed, a list. So what sciences were taught? More than 12 sciences, like al-fiqh, the primary, mid, and also the high, for al-Baydawi, and Ibn al-Subki, and al-Tahrir for Ibn al-Humam. This is the seniors. He started with the few papers, and after that, Al-Asnawi, Al-Badakhshi, etc. Many books in Al-Usul. Like in fiqh, he will teach Al-Shafi'i. He will start and also follow the margins that wrote about it, and teach Al-Zubad, the summary, the different margins for Al-Nawawi. It's a gradual teaching, primary, mid, and senior. So sciences available, the purposes, and also the methods, more than 12 fields or sciences, also the books. We have it for teaching. Some books, it's difficult to be taught, and we haven't seen it spread around. Like Al-Muwafaqat for Al-Shatibi, you will see a person thinking, it's not identified. So here, it's not available for that. Al-Muwafaqat, as we have seen for Muhammad Abdo at the end of the 19th century, we need to look at these books because it's useful. And this is a type of development. So he was printed the secrets of Al-Balagha for Abdul Qahir, and also the different books which constitute a big jump from the book. It's not suitable for teaching.
إذن تحديد العلوم ثم
So here, identifying the sciences, the books, the curriculum,
طريقة الامتحان
and also the assessment method.
في خلال
All of it
19
was available in the 19th century.
أيضا قراءة في الخارج فكان
Also, there was a reading outside.
صدرة
Al-Mullah Sadra
ويقرأ
and Sheikh Bakhit was reading
سينا
Al-Shifari for Ibn Sina
الكتب الكبيرة
and similar big books
مجلد
like 40 volume,
الشفا 20 مجلد
Al-Shifa 20 volume.
تلامذته في
He was reading it for his students
يوم الثلاثاء
on Tuesday.
انتهى القرن التاسع عشر
After 19th century, the 20th century,
الإمام محمد عبده
we have seen Muhammad Abdu
يعني مارس
and how he practiced the suggestions, good suggestions to develop teaching, to develop curriculum, develop books.
أفكار جديدة تظهر
And we have seen
التاسع عشر منها
different ones
مدرسة القضاء الشرعي
like
دار العلوم
the Sharia judicial court and also Darul Uloom and teaching our judges in the college, teaching them Sharia
الفقه
and teaching them Al-Fiqh.
الموجود بعد ذلك
So after that,
قانون
we have different colleges,
هذا القسم قسم
the College of Law, Islamic Sharia,
ولا يتولاه ولا يدرس فيه إلا من كان خريجا من
and the people graduated from Azhar teach in that college.
للتطوير
It was an attempt to develop.
مجتهد يدرك الواقع ويدرك
It was
مصطلحات الآخرين
how to understand
علوم جديدة
the sciences, the new sciences,
يتفهم بها كيف يوقع
to understand
النص
how you can
المتغير من
interpret the script according to different changes.
هذه الرحلة العلمية
This journey throughout the 19th century finished with an attempt
محمد المهدي العباسي
with the Muhammad al-Mahdi al-Abadi attempt
أظهر في
to develop Al-Azhar in laws to control Al-Azhar.
بدأت صدور القوانين من أجل
So here Al-Qawaneen
ضبط خريجي الأزهر
came
كان
to control Al-Azhar graduates. And here we talk about Al-Alimiyya.
كان يفوز الطالب
When the student win
كان يحضره المشايخ جميعا
in the lesson, all the people, the teacher attend,
الغطرة
he will be wearing the white ghutra. They used to call it a shell
أنه أصبح
as a sign
في الجامعة الأزهرية
that he is now a teacher
موجودة
in Al-Azhar University.
جامع الأزهر الذي
So,
بمثابة محضن للعلم سواء ابتدائي
so he was in the teaching in the Azhar, primary, secondary, preparatory, college, and high education
وكان
in one place,
بذهلة تسمح
and with the freedom to benefit
بالقراءة والاستفادة
from the genius people,
الاستفادة من كل
the people of determination, and all the competences.
مجال
In this field, we hear Sheikh Al-Bakhit.
حفظا جيدا وكان مليء
He
وهو يتحدث
memorized
زملائه قال له
that, and he asked his colleague, what do you want to be after you graduate from Al-Azhar?
أن أكون
He said, I want to be a judge.
القاضي لابد أن يكون
No, but the judge, he need to be a Hanafi
العالية في تركيا وهي تحكم
follower.
بالمذهب الحنفي فترك المالكية
So
في دراسة الحنفية
he left Al-Malikiyya and started to study Al-Hanafiya.
أصبح حافظا
and he memorized Al-Hanafiya.
لو هلكت لأملاها من ذاكرته.
And he said if it is finished, he will memorize it from his brain.
يذهب إلى
As an example,
البحراوي
he will go to Al-Bahrawi
راضي.
and also Muhammad Radi.
يقرأ مراقي الفلاح.
Both of them were reading Maraqi al-Falah.
لهذا فسألوا بعض الزملاء
Some colleagues asked, why you double it twice? He said everyone has got different taste.
له من الوعي.
So they used to have different
محمد راضي يشعر بأنه يأخذ
awareness.
جديدا من العلم.
He's taking different type of science.
البحراوي
And when he go to Al-Bahrawi,
آخر
he will take another style, another taste
بالعبارة
of science.
التعمق فيها
He will go deeper.
قليل وبسرده وبكيفية
He will also how we
الحكم من هذا الدليل.
stimulate
الشيخ له
the حكم for the judgment from here. At the end,
هذا ديدنهم في
that was their way
بعد ذلك
to get the education. After that, we reached the 20th century,
رأي ومجهودات
and
محمد عبده
we have seen Muhammad Abdu effort
ومهدي العباسي.
and Sheikh Muhammad Al-Mahdi Al-Abbasi, the Mufti.
كل هذه المجهودات
All of these
أثرت في إصدار مجموعة من القوانين
influenced the different laws
تم بهيئة كبار العلماء
and also what they call the senior scientists committee
من تلامذة محمد عبده كان
from the students of Sheikh Muhammad Abdu,
نفذ كثيرا
and he implemented
طرحه
a lot of what was suggested by Sheikh Muhammad Abdu in development and renewal
تلك العناصر.
for these elements.
جاء شيخ المراغي ووجد أناسا عندهم 60 سنة وما زالت
So he found people with 50 years old and they are still studying.
أخذنا العالمية لا نجد
So they asked, why
ولا نجد
you take
عليه
this?
أن تأخذنا
Some jobs
مباشرة
will
هكذا
take us straight away.
يضمن لنا أن ننتمي إلى طبقة
So it's better
العلم.
to still or remain a student.
العباسي كان عمل
Sheikh Al-Abbasi, he
ستة
established what's called Al-Alimiyya. 6 of the students
في هذه العالمية دي
will join Al-Alimiyya,
دكتوراه
which is now equivalent to a PhD.
ستة تقدموا
So if 6
يأتي السابع يقال له أن
join, the 7th
قادمة
will wait for next year
أن يخرج
because Al-Azhar
أكثر من ستة
will not graduate more than 6 scientists that has got
كانت
the Alimiyya,
من الحاكم الكبير سواء
and it's issued from Al-Khidawi or the Sultan or the king after that,
من رئيس الدولة.
from the top of the country.
ستة فقط
6 people only.
كانوا يذهبون في الأول
Those 6 people,
الأزهر في بيته
they will be,
الطالب
the students will be kept with the teachers,
ويشربون
eating, drinking,
ضخم مكتبة
also with a huge library
يمتحن الطالب
in order to test the students 3 or 4 days,
يمتحنونه نحو 12 ساعة
around 12 hours every day,
يتأكدوا وكان
in order to make sure
12 عالم
12 scientists with the student.
أن يمنحها من
After that,
الثانية أو
from the first, second, or third,
الترتيب أو أنه يسقط ولا يأخذ
or maybe he will fail and he will not take Al-Alimiyya degree.
الحال إلى أن
That continued
المراغي لما أتى
till Al-Maraghi when he brought
طبعا دول عندهم 60 سنة
the students 60 years old.
يريد
and they didn't want to stop teaching. Here, Al-Maraghi came with a new idea. He gave them Al-Alimiyya degree, all of them, without a test. So you will see the sheikhs in the roads. If you find someone crying and you ask him, Sheikh, what's happening? He will say to you, I took Al-Alimiyya, and after that, I am now without a job, and I have no bread winning. Sheikh Al-Maraghi tried to develop Al-Azhar, and there was resistance in the time of Al-Maraghi, and they managed to establish the Azhar University, Al-Usul in Al-Khazanzara in Shobra, and Al-Sharia in Abdin, and Arabic language. After that, they built behind it. Here we talk the Arabic language and also Al-Usul. They set the curriculum and they put Sheikh, which is equivalent to the Deen, and at the top, everyone here is different. In the 60s, there was a law and established Al-Azhar with a head and also a deputy, and after that 4 instead of 1. And after that started the scientific letters. So those people studied fiqh. For example, ibadat, after that, the different fields. We wanted what we call it obligation. We bring all the aspects from Islamic fiqh, from all the different parties, al-hajr, al-hijr. So different issues brought scientific letters that was written by hand. And after that was discussed by 6 scientists in order to give the students al-alimiyya, this type of development instead of al-fiqh lesson. Now it became horizontal, not vertical. Big development that Al-Azhar did in this field. What happened here? Fiqh theories came out. So it's not the basics. These theories, like al-haq or ownership, also different theories. These theories became a focus, where Al-Azhar focused here from 1940 till our days. Here we talk about more than 80 years. Throughout these 80 years, the Azhar presented here around 6,000 scientific letters. Most of them
في صورة
still
رسالة لم تطبع بعد.
as a letter not printed.
أن نقول أن
We can say that 30% only of the 6,000 scientific letters were printed, and 6,000, this number at the end of the 90s. So I left it 20 years, maybe another 1,000 came in the field of language, fiqh, and sharia. Other colleges like Islamic Studies, Holy Quran, and also Dawah. And these colleges is well developed. In 1961, and some graduates from Azhar, they added another issue, which is medicine, accountancy. Waiting for the sound from the source. So after that, he moved to other sciences as a main sciences. Al-Shabrawi said he has 70 certificate in medicine, engineering, mathematics, geography, astronomy. So we returned back to the previous Azhar, but in a modern way. Here, we started to see theories and also different teaching methodologies. I will give you an answer, especially talking about the renewal of the foundation of the religion and the Islamic fiqh. In al-fiqh, Al-Razi defined it. They know the indication of fiqh, to know the resources, the searching methodology, and the conditions. But when you reflect and go deep in this science, you can get more things. What the scientists thought about in order to reach to this fiqh. Here, you start to think about the evidence after studies and after deep ones. You will say, how we can document the Holy Quran and also Sunnah. So we made sure this is part of the book and this is part of Sunnah. What about the understanding here, the language and the different issues? We understood the text. How we can differentiate between what's sure and what's skeptic about it. And after that, we identify the topic. How we can affiliate that, which is part of it. Here we have the affiliation theory. After that, the evidencing, which talk about the evidence which we are different. Around 33. And here you see, through evidencing, how you make use of it.
ثم بعد ذلك قضية
And after that,
الاجتهاد بما
الاجتهاد here
تحديد للمصلحة
to identify the interest
وتحديد
or even to identify
وتحديد
and implement the grouping concept,
تكلمنا عنها إلى آخره.
especially for the scholars.
نظرة جديدة لأصول
This is, I think, a way of looking about renewal and how that will help to have deep understanding for these sciences.
نداءات لإدخال
There are different calls
الاجتماعية بعد
to also add new social sciences.
العلوم الشرعية. يعني أصول الفقه أنت
For example,
إلى إدراك الواقع
you need to understand reality.
له عوالم
And here,
الأشخاص عالم
the
الأفكار
world of people, the world of incidents.
العوالم
With these different or four ones,
الحقيقة وأن لها
it has got the facts, it has got appearance,
درجات
it has got levels.
بالعلوم
How to understanding with the social sciences and the human sciences.
الإحداث أداة تدرك لنا
We need now
ما هو
to get a tool that help us in this way,
الواقع سيمكننا
that will enable us
إيقاع الشرع الشريف من غير أي مشكلات
to see a shara without problems
ولا هدم لأي قيمة
and not demolishing any value.
ولذلك ترى
For that,
من كتب في قضية
you see some people who wrote about the four models,
معناها أننا يجب
which mean
نستفيد من سيرة النبي
we have to benefit from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, seerah.
آخر سنة منها فقط
Not only in the last year.
نسخ بل هناك نظرية النساء التي
Here we have the women issue,
السيوطي في الإتقان
where As-Suyuti indicated and Zamakhshari
تقول نظرية النساء أن كل آية
that all verses of Holy Quran has got time and conditions.
نطبقها
So when the condition
أن النبي
available, we implement it,
مثلا نموذج مكة كيف
like Makkah model,
في وسط أناس
how
لا يريدونه
the Muslim live in a city where the people, they don't want him.
وترحب به وتحميه
How the country, for example, protect him
ينضم إلى جيش
and he become part of the army, while it's not an Islamic one.
المسلم في دولة
How the Muslim
فيها
live
وفيها المسلم وفيها
in the country with different
الشنت وفيها
religions,
كل العقائد.
Christians, Judaism.
هذه المدينة أولا كان
Al-Madinah,
فيها المشركون
there was non-believers, there was also
النموذج الرابع
different ones. The fourth one, how the Muslim will live in a country.
إلا المسلمون
There is only Muslims. There is no other ones, how he will live in it.
فنحن أمام نماذج يمكن
We have different models we can benefit from.
أننا نقول بقضية النسخ يعني
So here,
أنا في مكة
when we talk about a naskh issue,
وتحارب المسلمين
some countries, they are fighting Muslims and Islam.
لا ليس
So we can't say, let's go and drink alcohol. No.
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم
How Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, dealt with these ones. He went to pray in Al-Kaaba while there were
هذا أن النبي
more than 300 statues.
هذه البيئة هذا
In this environment,
يفعل النبي عند
how Prophet Muhammad
ويستفز
did when he was angry.
أردت ويقول يا رسول استعمل
Here Al-Khabbab came to him
فيتمعر وجهه غضبا ويقول ما أمرت بهذا
and say, I'm not ordered to that and not killing people.
المشرك بجوار الملحد بجوار كذا إلى آخره. إذا ففي هذا النموذج
So in this model,
في نوع من أنواع استعمال العنف.
there is no violence.
وسلم كان
And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was defending himself.
في المدينة المريسية
Badr, Uhud, Al-Khandaq, he was defending himself.
الجسدية له ولأتباعه. إذن فالنماذج الأربعة
So these four models
التطوير
is a type of renewal and development
إحداث أداة
that will help us
لإدراك الواقع
in establishing a new tool to understand the reality and to live our religion
من غير
without being embarrassed, without conflict,
ورد وحيرة
without being confused,
التملص أو لوي النصوص
or even trying to blame the text.
إنما هذه النصوص نزلت من
These
أجل
texts
سعادة الإنسان
came for our happiness
الله ومن أجل
and to worship Allah,
ومن أجل
to build this world
ذلك سنجعلها
and also to improve ourselves. So we have these four models, which is implemented in our life, our daily life.
شريف قام بدور كبير
Al-Azhar here did a great
تجديد
job in renewal,
20
especially in the 20th century and still doing that in the 21st century.
التعليم الديني
Religious education
بين التراث والتجديد
between heritage and renewal.
فإليه
I would like to add here
يكون في المستقبل.
and what will be in the future.
المستقبل
The future here
إلى
need
إحياء تدريس
to revive teaching moral,
دراسة عميقة
deep study
تخالط
in order
تربية
to mix with these programs how we breed our kids.
في عالم
In this world
يتجه إلى الإلحاد الأسود
where is going
الشر-
toward difficult future.
الفساد
Also corruption,
عدم العدل نريد
lack of justice.
تشتمل مناهج
We want our curricula to include
أخلاقي من التخليق
moral aspect.
جانب أخلاقي قاده
Also,
التصوف الإسلامي عبر القرون. هجمة شرسة وشديدة على التصوف
very
الإسلامي تمت في العالم الإسلامي.
serious attack
وفيها كثير
on Sufiya, and many people responded to it. But this attack
غير عادلة
is not fair
صحيحة.
and not correct, and we need
الصافي
to have a clear
يتكلم عنه
tasawwuf
بأن طريقنا هذا
that our way
بالكتاب والسنة
is following
الذي
the Holy Quran and Sunnah,
جانب الأخلاق هو الجانب الأول
so that will make
ومن ورائه
moral
لأن
the first aspect.
من كتاب فيه 6236 آية منهم 300 في الفقه كله
So 6,000
المرتبطة بالعقيدة
pages books with 300 verses about moral, and also a big number of hadith talking about moral,
فقط في كل الشريعة.
and 2,000 in the rest of Sharia.
أن 95%
This
من الشريعة على الأقل
way,
وفي الأخلاق
so the religion focused on moral,
وكبرى
and that will give us big advantage to the Muslims and make it the basic
تربية أبنائنا.
for the future breeding of our kids.
التراث
Heritage and renewal,
إليه
and here I add and future.
الحمد لله الذي
Thank God,
المسلمين
thank Allah that we are Muslims, and thank Allah,
في
all the praise to Allah
ديننا
that we are serving our religion. Hopefully we will meet again soon,
وفيه لا تغيب الأشباح بل تلقى.
where we meet together.
أستودعكم الله.
And thank you very much for listening. Please make dua in this blessed month.
اغفر لنا ذنوبنا
So Allah, please forgive us
وتوفنا مع الأبرار.
and
إن صالح دعائنا وصل اللهم
take the best of our dua
وآله
and all the blessings on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.